So hydraulic pumps. So hydraulic pump is a device that transfer energy to raise the liquid from lower level to a higher level, or to circulate a liquid or a fluid in a closed system. So for example, pumping of water from a sump to an overhead tank, or circulating a coolant or a lubricant oil to various moving parts of machines. So here we find the simple applications of hydraulic pumps. Altogether, hydraulic pump is a device that transfer energy to rise a liquid or a fluid from a lower level to a higher level, or to circulate in a closed system. So now we will see the different classification of these hydraulic pumps. So number one, it is centrifugal pump, so which makes use of the centrifugal force of a rotary element known as an impeller to impart energy or to transfer the energy to the liquid. So second one is reciprocating pump, which imparts the energy to the liquid by the reciprocating action of a piston or a plunger inside the cylinder. Third one is the rotary pump, which consists of a rotating member, traps the fluid in its closed casing, thereby building and raising the pressure of the liquid, and in turn discharges the high pressure fluid. So the rotating members may be gears, vanes, or screws. So these are the three important types of centrifugal pumps. Now we will see one by one. Now first we will take up the centrifugal pump, the construction and working of a centrifugal pump. So first thing is, the important parts of a centrifugal pump are: number one, impeller; number two, the casing; number three, the suction pipe with a foot valve and strainer; and number four, delivery pipe. These are the four important parts of any centrifugal pump. Now we will see the components or the parts separately. So now the impeller and the shaft are the rotating parts of the pump that converts the driver energy into the kinetic energy. That means here these parts rotate, and that rotation, and a rotation, while rotating, it carries some energy in the form of kinetic energy that is transferred to the fluid. Uh, so here you can see this is the impeller. This is image of an impeller. So which is the heart at the center, nothing but the heart of any pump. It is located at the center. So here this is the shaft on which the impeller is mounted. Impeller consists of a series of blades or vanes like this. It is very similar to the turbine blades. So these are the blades or vanes. Okay. Then another important rotating component is the shaft, whose basic purpose is to transmit the torque that is encountered during the operation. So that means here, so to run this, to drive this impeller with some speed, so for that, at the center there will be a shaft. So the shaft is coupled to a motor. When the motor rotates, along with that the shaft rotates. Along with the shaft, this impeller rotates. So with a high velocity. So then the volute or the diffuser along with the casing. Casing is nothing but the outer cover. You see, this is the outer cover of the pump. To cover nothing but outer body. Hmm? Casing and bearings form the stationary parts of the centrifugal pump. Bearings are nothing but the supports for the shaft. So they are the non-rotating elements or parts of the centrifugal pump and are responsible for converting the kinetic energy into pressure energy. Then the centrifugal pumps operate by transferring energy, or you can say the angular momentum. When it's rotating at high velocity, it possesses some angular momentum, and that is transferred from this rotating impeller to the fluid which comes in contact with the impeller. When the impeller is rotating and the fluid enters, see this suction side, we say enters here because of the vacuum created. When this rotates at high velocity, some vacuum will be created here because it pushes whatever is there inside out. Then here vacuum is created, and due to that vacuum, the liquid rises into this, suction takes place. Okay, and then this liquid or fluid comes in contact with the impeller or the blades, and these blades, when they rotate at high velocity, they pushes the liquid away in this direction. Hmm. So here transfer of energy takes place from the impeller to the liquid. The fluid enters with rapidly rotating impeller along its axis and is cast out by centrifugal force along with its circumference through the impeller's vane tips. That's what here pushing of the liquid is due to the centrifugal action of this rotating impeller, centrifugal force of the rotating impeller. That's why it is called centrifugal pump. The action of the impeller increases the fluid's velocity and pressure and also directs it towards the outlet of the pump, which we call as delivery side of the pump. This is called the suction side of the pump, and this is called the delivery side of the pump. So there are some advantages and some limitations of using these centrifugal pumps. The advantages are suitable for all types of fluids, maybe high viscous, low viscous, whatever it is suitable for all types of fluids, and it's simple and also compact in size. Then delivers uniform flow. Output flow is steady and constant, unlike reciprocating pumps. So here the output is uniform and continuous and steady, and can be mounted horizontally or vertically. These pumps can be mounted along the horizontal axis or maybe vertical axis, and the maintenance is very easy, simple. Then limitations or disadvantages are relatively poor suction power, because there may be some leakages and openings, and may not be airtight sometimes. Therefore, there will be poor suction created. So suction power is less compared to reciprocating. Develops cavitation resulting in structural failure of impeller blades. There will be a phenomena called cavitation. It is a drawback. What is cavitation? I will explain in the coming slides. And it is not suitable for air or gases. You cannot use this for air or gas. So, but a similar type of centrifugal blowers are available. If it is air or gas, instead of pump, we use centrifugal blowers. This is about the advantages and disadvantages of centrifugal pumps. And the second type of pumps are reciprocating pumps. So why it is called reciprocating pump means, so the transfer of energy takes place from a piston. This is a piston which reciprocates to and fro inside a cylinder. This is a cylinder, and this is the piston. This reciprocates inside the cylinder, and transfer of energy takes place from this piston to the fluid, to the liquid fluid. So therefore it is called reciprocating pump. The important parts of reciprocating pump are: one is suction pipe. So this is the suction pipeline at the suction side. Then suction valve. So this is the suction valve. So then delivery valve. This is the delivery valve. Then cylinder. This is the cylinder what I told you. Then piston and piston rod. This is the piston and this is the piston rod. Then strainer which is used for filtering. Okay. So strainer will be available below this in order to filter the liquid. Then air vessel, it is a temporary storage vessel. So in order to store the liquid when there is no delivery. I will explain this later. Now, to know the working principle of reciprocating pump, consider this image. See here, whatever is there in the blue color is the liquid. Now, consider it as water. So, this is the sump in which the fluid is, water is stored, and this is to be pumped to, say, this height. This is the storage tank, overhead tank. So, further, the arrangement is like this. Okay. So, then this pipe which connects the sump with the pump is called the suction pipe. Okay. And then this pipeline which connects the delivery side of the pump to the overhead tank is called delivery pipe. And this is the air vessel. Okay. And this is cylinder, and this is piston, this is the connecting rod, this is crank, this is crank actually, this rotates. So this shaft is connected to a motor. When the motor drives, rotates, this crank rotates, and the crank rotates, rotation is converted into reciprocatory motion using this crank and lever mechanism. And this is the connecting rod. Piston reciprocates inside the cylinder. So to start with, we consider the piston at this position. Piston at this position, and we start with suction stroke. When the piston moves from left side towards right, that stroke is called suction stroke. So during which, due to the piston movement, the vacuum is created inside the cylinder. So therefore, because of that vacuum, the suction valve opens up. Because of this vacuum, the suction valve opens up, and due to the suction pressure, water is sucked into the cylinder, and at the end of the suction stroke, cylinder is filled with water. The next stroke is the delivery stroke. When the piston moves from left to right to left, then this closes and this opens. Now this is open position. Then the water is pushed out of the cylinder into the suction pipe, and it passes through this valve and is delivered to the overhead tank. Okay. So here one thing to be noted is the delivery and suction takes place only in a particular stroke of the piston. So when there is suction stroke, so this valve opens, this remains closed, and water enters the cylinder and stored inside the cylinder. Then during the return stroke or delivery stroke, this suction valve closes and delivery valve opens, and the delivery takes place into the delivery pipe. That means delivery takes place only during one stroke of the piston, delivery stroke. During suction stroke, there is no delivery. So, so the delivery is intermittent, it is not continuous. So in order to make it continuous, the arrangement is done in the form of a air vessel. So during delivery stroke, some of the water is stored in this. So this is stored, and when there is no delivery during suction stroke, when there is no delivery, the water is made to flow through this. Okay, so this is how a centrifugal pump. So this is what I explained. Uh, Now uses of reciprocating pump. Reciprocating pump is mainly used for oil drilling operations, pneumatic pressure systems, light oil pumping, feed small boilers, condensate returns. So these are the things where we find the application of reciprocating pumps. Then the advantages are high discharge pressure can be obtained because it is a reciprocating arrangement. The pressure that can be achieved is very high, provides high suction lift compared to the centrifugal pumps. The suction lift or the vacuum obtained is very high. So then we can lift it from a very depth. Okay. Then priming is not required here. So what is priming? I will tell you in the next slides. Uh, that is required in case of centrifugal pump, but this priming is not required in the reciprocating pump. Then can be used pump air or any other gas also. Unlike centrifugal pump. In centrifugal pump, we cannot use it for air or gas. In this case, we can use it. Then disadvantages are high maintenance due to reciprocating parts because it is arrangement of reciprocation. There will be wear out. Therefore, maintenance is expensive. Then flow rate is less. The amount of water or fluid delivered is less. Discharge is less. Heavy and bulky in size compared to centrifugal pumps. It is heavy in size, bulky, and the cost of these pumps is very high. Hmm. These are some disadvantages of reciprocating pumps. Then, as I told you, here I will tell you what is cavitation. Cavitation occurs on the suction side of the pump as lowest pressure exists just below the pump on the suction side. So, due to height of installation of the above sump, the pressure on the suction side goes below the atmospheric value. That means due to heavy suction pressure, the pressure inside that goes below the below the atmospheric pressure. Then when the pressure decreases drastically, then there will be vaporization. Water bubbles are formed. So I told you in the previous classes that this vaporization is it depends also on the pressure. If the pressure goes very low pressure, when it is almost vacuum, then the water starts evaporating, bubbling at that room temperature also. Here, when the suction pressure is very low, the vaporization takes place, bubbles are formed, it moves at a very high velocity to the more pressure side of the impeller. Okay, so thereby damaging this impeller. Okay, pitting forming cavities on the blades of the impeller. So cavities are formed. Uh, so that process of formation of cavities due to the bubble formation and movement of these bubbles with high velocity and causing the damage to the impeller, that damage in the form of forming the cavities, so it is called cavitation. This damage is centrifugal pump. This phenomena is called cavitation. Then what are the effects of cavitation? So cavitation effects are the metallic surfaces are damaged and cavities are formed on the impeller surface, so which causes the inefficiency of the pump and the impeller is to be replaced. So while designing, care is to be taken that the pressure at the vacuum side should not go very low. Okay. then noise and vibration are produced due to sudden collapse of vapor bubbles. Okay. Then efficiency of the machine reduces when the when the impeller is damaged. Head and discharge also decreases. Okay. Discharge is nothing but amount of water pumped. Okay. Head is nothing but the height to which it is pumped. Okay. Then we will see priming. Priming is a process of removing air present in the suction pipe and impeller casing. So that is, so when the pump is not working, there is possibility that air is filled inside the suction pipe. Okay. So to remove this air at the suction pipe and casing of the pump and of the delivery pipe are completely filled with water before starting the pump. Okay, that means, so you might have observed. So in case of centrifugal pumps, before starting, it fill the suction pipe or pump everything with full of water, so that we remove the air bubbles present in that. So when you fill the water, all the air bubbles will come out. So then uh, becomes easy for the pump to pump the water. Otherwise, if there is air bubble, then it acts as obstruction. So the pump will not deliver. Okay. This process of removing the air bubbles by filling the pipe, suction pipe and pump completely with water, that process is called priming. Clear? Okay, these are the web links where we can get some videos of working of the pumps and turbines. So here you can use this. There are some animated videos, real working videos. Please refer this and improve your knowledge. Then thank you for listening.